All right, people. Let's hope the internet doesn't. The internet wasn't working there a minute ago. But solo cast here today. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm looking over here in the Facebook group, Obsessed Garage group. We made a post there, so I got some questions in there to answer. And then also put your questions in on the live stream here. Thanks to those of you joining me from over on Instagram Live. We have Krenzels in stock for the first time in years. And, I'm sure they'll sell out pretty quickly. So I was suggesting, I'm sure many of you are going to try to wait for Black Friday. I wouldn't wait on the pressure washer. Maybe you could wait on the accessories. You could wait on that because those we have plenty in stock. That won't be an issue. But the prospects of you being able to get one of these things, as it's this is the first time in forever. So if you want one, we have them. We have 1622s, 1122s, and 1322s for the first time in I don't know how long. First time ever here, in that we're stocking them here and buying them in quantity. So let's see here. Let me go over to the live stream under comments, I think. I forget where the heck do I find this at. Under content. It's under content. That's right. And go live. And let me go here. And then let me pull out where is the darn thing where all the questions are asked? Maybe I should just go and watch it live. I'm a freaking idiot. It's been so long since I've been on here. Anyway, had a good week in Helen. I love that place so much. I think we have, I don't think we have any weeks. I think there may be, because I'm going up December 15th again, so we don't have any weeks available, I don't think. Yeah, where the heck is there's a platform. Let me just go to the darn video and watch it on YouTube Live. Maybe that's what I should do. I don't know why I can't bring out the breakout. So yeah, Helen is freaking awesome, man. I'm in love with that place so much. I went fly fishing, which is pretty sick. Here we go. Yeah, I'll just do it from here. So anyway, Dan's from Minnesota. 2 questions. What is the OG pillow? I'm struggling with the OG pillow. What you're talking about is the Columbia. It's Columbia. Let me pull it up on Amazon here. I'm not used to having to do the work. Amazon, Columbia. Oops, there it was. Columbia Cooling Gel. It's Columbia Cooling Gel Memory Foam Pillow. Here's the problem. I bought 4 king pillows at Helen, and they're kind of hard as a rock. So the king size, the queen size ones are great. The king size one, not so much. I've been thinking about like jumping up and down on it or something with put it in like a garbage bag and jumping up and down with shoes on or something like that. But yeah, it's $159 for a king, $139 for a queen. It's my favorite pillow. I don't really like sleeping on the cooling side. I only like sleeping on the other side. So the second question, I'm impressed by the Active 2.0 performance, but having issues where it won't auto shut off. That generally can only come from one of 2 things. It's either a leak somewhere in the line, or a bad pressure switch, which is pretty rare. It could be on. A lot of times it leaks when you have a leak from the garden hose side. When you have an issue like that, I suggest taking everything apart. So take all of your couplers and fittings off, retaping, retorquing, and then seeing if that fixes it. Another thing you could do is to make it simpler, put the stock gun, the stock wand on it, and double check your garden hose connection. Because if you put the stock hose and wand on it, then theoretically it's a completely different setup. So you should be able to narrow down what the issue is down to it's either the inlet or it's the pressure switch. So let's see. Jeff had a response to him. Thanks for that, Jeff. Let's see. Did Matt see Racetrack House Property in the Facebook group or anywhere else? Did Matt see the racetrack house property? I did not see it. There's I post it all the time on the Facebook group on that. I didn't see it. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, I mean that's everybody's dream, right? To have a darn racetrack at their house. Everybody's dream except for mine. I don't. Yeah, not really my bag, my thing. But I could see the appeal for sure. It'd be cool to have a cool driveway, I think. Let's see. Eric Sutherland says, when are you expecting the original Ultimate hose nozzles back in stock? I know it says October 22nd, but wondering if you had a better ETA since reserve your spot is not an option for this. I'm not sure. They're made in China, and it's been obviously a supply chain issue, super annoying. I've got mine over here. I need like 3 of them. I need one for Helen, one for my house here in Florida, and one for the garage next door. So I'm hoping they come soon. It's really annoying. And it says also, what bike rack is attached to the home garage bike lift? It's the One Up. Let's see, One Up. It's the black one. One Up bike rack. It is, which I think are the best bike racks. I learned about it. My friend Doug out in Seattle. So it's the double Equip D double in black is the one I have. It's all anodized aluminum. It's really sweet. It's pretty expensive. I think it's $805. So it's an expensive bike rack, but it's one of those things you buy once and theoretically have for the rest of your life. So that's the one I have, and then I can take it from the garage. So I have at the garage, I have the lift, which I would highly recommend. It's super cool. So the lift lifts the bike rack up to the ceiling and then brings it down. It's a motorized lift, and then that bike rack I would throw on the on the car as well, or the truck. Let's see, we got a super chat here. We're gonna look at that. Thank you very much. $5 US. Spencer says, let's see, what are you looking forward to at SEMA? What are some douchey things that a first-time SEMA goer shouldn't do? Lastly, can I get a photo with you? Yes, the photo, for sure. You can come walk around with me if you want. I'm looking forward to SEMA this year. I don't have any agenda. Like, there's no specific product I'm looking for. All years past, I was chasing something specific, like hose reels or just all kinds of stuff over the years I've been looking for. So I'm going to have a much more open mind because we have a really robust line of products. And so now I'm going to be looking for just things that catch my eye, that I have an idea. Tommy, who's now head of product development, is coming with me. I'm sort of grooming him, teaching him to do the sort of the same product chase thing that I do. So I'm super excited about that. I would highly suggest that you consider running if you're there enough time, and if you get through the whole thing. I walk up and down every single aisle. I would suggest you do that. Even go to the Chinese tire area. So I wouldn't skip anything. And then if you have time, go over to the Apex show, which is at the Sands. You don't want to spend any more time than a couple hours over there, but you can find some cool stuff over that side too. I think if you have a SEMA pass, it's an Apex and SEMA pass. So that's my suggestion. Let's see. What other questions do we have? Let's see. Good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. What's up, Kevin? Matt, very interested to get your take on the news about diesel supply. 25 days left until we run out. Well, shoot, that would be not good. I'd hope that they'd figure something out about that kind of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if we're in a rough spot with that. Matt, are you still interested into having a detailing summit now, maybe in Helen? Yeah, actually, Pan, if you didn't see, Pan and I Pan, the organizer, went to my Helen house and detailed the car and did some fly fishing, and I annihilated him on a hike, tried to kill him. He didn't die, but he did quit, so that was good. So he and I were talking about the possibility. I like the idea of whoever would want to do it, to have a YouTuber detailing summit here, and maybe YouTuber and Pro Detailing Summit here at HQ, and bring some manufacturers in and just sit around and talk about life and business, and kind of like what we did. Pan and I have an Inside the Hex that we did. So make sure to check that out if you're Hex members. If you're not, you might want to consider being one, because that video is pretty good. We get into too much personal detail to put that public, so that's why I think Inside the Hex. That's the main reason why I created Inside the Hex. So I'd love to do that, and it would be even cooler if I could convince some people to come that don't like me. Maybe I could. Not make them like me, but maybe we could find some common ground. It'd be better to have some, intelligent back and forth, which would be kind of cool. So yeah, I'd really like to do that at some point. Pan said what I should do. I should have a. I thought about this a lot too, which would be kind of cool. Do like a call out to a competition. We'd have to create some set of rules or something like that, and do me versus the top pros. I'd probably lose, but in paint correction, and have and try to find some pros that don't like me to come and beat me, and maybe have some big prize or something, get some sponsor to come in, or maybe I just pony up the cash of I buy the plane ticket and you win $2,500 or something like that, or if we maybe get a sponsor and $10,000 to the winner. And I think it would be kind of fun to do that, and maybe dispel some of the myths of my polishing skills. It would be kind of cool. So anyway, Big Lux asks, Matt, why are your shins so banged up? They're always banged up. One, because I have a scar from when I had the Gen 1 Raptor. I had stepped. The Ford F-150s, they have that little cheater step that comes out. So it comes out and comes down, and the original Gen 1 Raptor had like the pole that you would put up. And I didn't put the pole up, and I put the step down, and I forgot the step was down, and I stepped backwards with all of my weight and raked the front of my shin off of the right off of the that metal piece, and just basically stripped the skin right to the bone, right to my shin bone. And so that my shin is super sensitive, and I have baby soft skin, and I do a lot of cleans and deadlifts and snatches, and I tend to drag the bar up my shin, and tend to smack it off my shin because I tend to oftentimes pull too quickly. And so baby soft skin, even babier soft with a big scar, and so they're always jacked up, and I never do the smart thing and put some socks on, but that's why. So let's see, Matt, are you selling or going to sell the Aero Creepers? I'm not sure. I didn't love it for detailing. It's great for dry ice cleaning. So I forget what Scott said, if he was going to bring that in or not. But I at this point, I don't think so. Gas Tech says, sorry, I missed that question. Hey, what's the on-wall vacuum solution you mentioned in Instagram Live? So we're going to have a cordless solution, a corded solution. So cordless would be likely the Milwaukee. Corded would likely continue to be the Flex, unless for some reason I can become a Festool dealer. Maybe it'd be Flex and Festool. And then it's going to be a private labeled solution, so it's going to be a Obsessed Garage solution. But it's going to be a 3-gallon, where most of them are 5 to 8 gallons, because we don't need 8 gallons. You can just empty the tank. So it's going to be a super high suction, like I forget what do they call it, the water lift rate. It's going to be an on-wall solution that we'll be able to do with Hide a Hose, or with a Cox reel and a specific hose that we're working on developing, and then a whole line of accessories as well. I think it's going to be. Let me pull up the pricing on it. It's not very expensive, not as expensive as I thought it would be. Let's see here. Products. Grant sent me this. Crap, did I not save it? I hope I did. There it is. Vacuum systems. Let me just search it, because that isn't going to give me what I want. This is a thing that I think you're going to like. Oh, yeah, here we go. So let's say, and this is rough at this point, that's my price. Yeah, so the power unit, that's Idaho's complete basic kit with a reel. Yeah, somewhere around $800. For a custom on wall, like ridiculous. Yeah, somewhere between like $500 and I'm talking for a complete system with like all the crevice tools and hoses and parts and pieces. Maybe I'm not talking about. I should not talk about something I don't know what it's going to cost. So it's going to be less than $1,000, I think. So, but it's going to be a freaking fantastic solution. Yeah, I'm confused here. Is this my cost? Is this retail? I'm not 100% sure. But I think the main vacuum unit is going to be like, like the actual vacuum is going to be like $500 or something like that. It's going to be freaking awesome. So Tommy's going to be yelling at me for giving you too much information, but that's what I do. So let me go over to Facebook here and answer some of the questions there. So Brian Lauterbeck says, thoughts on the new M2, and does OG sell the Cree retrofit can lights? I'm looking to update mine in my new house. So yes, we do sell the retrofit lights. Hit up design at obsessedgarage.com and we can quote those out. The only reason I haven't put them in the store yet is because we don't freaking have them. Like, they don't have any in stock. So I'm waiting for them to fix their supply chain issues. And thoughts on the new M2? I like it. It has the S58. So it has the same engine as the M3, which they've also made the stock exhaust equal length, so that's good. I think it looks kind of boxy, but I'm pretty sure the aftermarket, putting some spacers, some wider wheels and tires, are going to make it look pretty freaking cool. The aftermarket support on that car is going to be insane. So what my intention is, my plan is to take the G80. So my G80, I'm picking up November 17th. From the Performance Delivery Center, and then I've got to ship it down here. So I'm going up there to do the Performance Center delivery, taking it to my friend Richard's house. Bubba, my transport guy, is going to go get it because Mike has too much to do to go get the darn thing with my trailer. So Bubba's going to go get it. It cost me about $1,500. We're going to bring it down here, do the Vorsigner stuff, do the modifications, spacers, suspension, all that kind of stuff. I might do KWV4s. We'll see. If I can get those in a reasonable amount of time, then get the car up to Helen. And then I've already put my name on the list for the M2. I don't think they've accepted any orders in the U.S. yet. So I talked to Tom at Porsche Wilmington, BMW Wilmington, North Carolina, who I get my cars from. That's who I bought the G80 from. And try to get one of the M2s, and then what I'll do is sell the G80, do a giveaway on the G80, and then the M2 will be the car up in the mountains. So that's the plan. And again, I like it. I mean, I think it's heavy and big and bulky, but yeah. And then Christian asked, Christian Detman asked, if you were going to keep the M2, would you do anything the audio, or is the system it came with good enough? I think I'd leave the system alone in there. I think it's okay. And so if I were to keep that car, I would probably leave the audio system alone. It's not too shabby. So that was just my questions on Facebook. I already answered Eric's questions he asked in both. Let me just double check, make sure there weren't any new ones. Okay, cool. So I can close that out. There's the one-up rack we talked about. So let's go back to questions here. Oh, another super chat. Improved Garage. I was hoping for an update on the installed vacuum solution. Thanks, Matt. For the pillow, take a look at Bed Gear. They're around $200 and worth every penny. Yeah, I'll have to check that out, man. I've been in love with the Columbia pillow. I love the one I have here. It's kind of broken in, but yeah, not good. Not good. MM5522 says, stop by Monday. Chris showed us around. The staff was great. Can't wait to come back. Awesome. Yeah, sorry I was up in Helen. Let's see. Puffs Denmark says, Lamborghini Huracan or Audi R8. What's your choice? 100% Audi R8. I just don't like Lamborghini. I know many of you do, but not my thing. Hey, Matt, I know you don't like the big boy blowers, but would you ever test one compared to Ego blowers? I'd be interested in that. The Big Boy is a Chinese knockoff, so I would buy the. I would if I was going to compare, I would compare to the Metrovac, which is a much more solid, high quality piece of equipment. And I think they're around the. Let's look at that. Aren't they around the same price? Let's say Metrovac, Master Blaster. I just don't understand the appeal. You've got to drag around a hose. It doesn't have any more output than an Ego Vac. I can't use it for anything else. Yeah, so the Metrovac is $484 on AutoGeek. It's $570. Oh, wait, no, this one here. Metrovac Master Blaster, 8 horsepower. That's $572 with a 30-foot hose on AutoGeek. And then Esoteric would be what the Big Boy distributor. Esoteric, Big Boy. So let's see, Big Boy car dryers. Let's see, the double motor one, the big one is $475. Yeah, I mean, I would buy the darn Metrovac. I mean, Big Boy is a Chinese contract manufacturer, from what I can tell. I mean, I don't know much about the company, but I take one look at their pressure washer. They're building, catalog items off of, Chinese, order catalogs and then making it look pretty. But I would do the Metrovac. But again, why would I want to drag around another hose? Obviously, if you were going to wall mount it, probably be pretty decent. You don't need. There's no such thing as filter. You can't filter the air around the room unless you have some sort of advanced filtration. If you did, then you wouldn't need the filter. So heated filtered air doesn't really help much. I guess maybe heated would help a little bit if you're in a cold climate for your hands. But I had a Metrovac. I bought probably 12 years ago now, a long time ago. It's like one of the few things I've returned in this world. I just hated it. I hated having to plug it in and run a darn hose around. Whereas, the leaf blower, so I used the steel leaf blower for many years, which was a far inferior solution to the current, Ego with a stubby on it. So, David J. War Eagle, I'm assuming that means he's a Auburn grad. Hey, Matt and team, would you consider reformulating decon soap so that it's not so viscous and easier to pour? I don't know. I kind of like the dilution the way it is. Obviously, you could probably just add some distilled water and make it a little thinner. But just whatever. I don't want to mess with it because the darn, how slick it is. What was I going to say? Lubricity, is that a word? And how it performs. I just don't want to mess it up. Philippe Champagne says, hello, everyone. What's up, Philippe? Let's see, Matt. What would you do for a Klondike bar? I try to fight Klondike as much as possible. Jeff C. asks, have you tried P&S Absolute yet? I haven't. I need to try it. I know Tommy tested it. Did he? Do we have some here? But I think you should try it next time you do a rinseless wash. Super slick, doesn't need a drying aid, and won't build up on your coatings. Yeah, I'll have to try it out. I would want it as a drying aid, though. CMAC asks, what are you hoping for OG to accomplish in 2023? Any new products coming out? That's a good question. I hope to do a lot. I hope to be in Canada and operating and successful, so I hope to be there next year. I hope to have Press-All warranty and Press-All improvements well underway, well underway at a Press-All gallon and then a Press-All squeeze bottle, and then a proper label system that really is robust and works extremely well and can be installed both by us and by DIYers, people to buy it. So we're going to be installing a Press-All warranty. We're going to start with a 3-month warranty. Compiling the data, providing it. I just sent 2 gallons of Brake Buster to Press-All. Part of the reason it's taken me so long, when you see lots of people complaining, is that I had to try to get them here. So the deal with trying to figure out how to bring containers in and how to ship them and all that stuff. So that took a lot longer than I anticipated, but I'm in this for the rest of my life. So I'd like to have a curated product line. Stay tuned for more on that. I've been talking about this forever, of being able to put CarPro and P&S and McKee's and the products that I'm so fond of in Press-All bottles, with them shipped out with all the proper disclaimers, and having a uniform drying aid by bee blending, or surface prep by CarPro, and so sort of co-brand it. So I'm going to really work diligently this year, and then take on some strategic partners to make it a very robust, very specific product line that lots and lots of people can get behind, and then launch that worldwide. Have that go everywhere. So that's part of 2023's plan. I would like to be started on Obsessed Garage UK. So I'd like to. I probably won't be able to cash flow afford, especially economically. We'll see. I'm going to have to try to survive first, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to cash flow and be able to do 2 countries in 1 year. But in a perfect world, I'd love to have UK done, and I'm going to have to weigh, should I go EU or UK, or both, and which one first. I'm inclined to say we'll go to the Netherlands. I need to do some more research. The Netherlands could support, Scandinavia, could support, EU, but I think it's really problematic that theoretically I would want UK and separate EU, distribution. And I would like to. We're going to have deionizer hopefully done in the first quarter. So OG, the Obsessed Garage deionization system, as well. And I think I'm hoping for continued evolution of the Obsessed Garage staff, and then late next year I'm planning to hit the road and go and do tons and tons of podcasts, tons and tons of other collaborations with other YouTube channels. So I'm gonna work on growing the audience. I'd also like to have started. I don't think I'll have Destination OG 2. But I would like to know where Destination OG 2 is going to be. So I think I'll probably be deep into the process of searching for properties and making a decision on what that's going to look like. Because I think I'll have Destination OG 1. I think I'll have all 5 phases of it done next year. So I'd like to have all 5 phases of Destination OG done, have QR codes, have the website built out robustly. So no biggie, not a big deal, other than to completely massively overhaul and not overhaul but update Obsessed Garage. We'll have vacuum solutions. We'll have hundreds of new products, I'm sure, as well. So let's see. What was Evan B talking about? Rolling over what with a steamroller? Alexander Call says, for those of us with very busy lives that still want to care for our vehicles, what are the most essential elements of caring for your car's exterior? I think a huge element would be all of that work that you do to prepare it for making it easy to wash. So multi-step decon, multi-step correction, coating. So having a super long-lasting coating, especially if you can't wash it all that much. Doing something that's super stout, Seacorts UK. I don't think I would do CSL XO unless you're willing to revamp it every year. Getting Crystal Ultra or going to Seacorts Finest or Seacorts Reserve or something like that for a professional installer. So considering that kind of stuff. Have you seen the new forged 359M wheels from Rowich Forged? The finish looks really close. Yeah, I have seen those. I don't think they're available yet. I'm not in love with the offsets they've chosen, but I'll probably get a set. I'd like that. What is your take on the Milwaukee pseudo recall for the 1/2-inch high torque impact wrench? I didn't know there was one. I hadn't gotten any communication on that. And the high torque impact I don't really use as much. And I think that so we have a few in inventory. But I hadn't heard anything about it. You must be watching some YouTube channels that focus specifically on that, on Milwaukee products and testing of those. Again, I'm a buyer's guide, but not necessarily a major product tester in that realm. So I think I'll ask them about it. I didn't know. I wasn't aware. And if I'm not aware, it must not be a big push because I get very clear, very common, or very often correspondence from Milwaukee, from both marketing and from distribution from my guy. Let's see. RBJW says, "What are your thoughts on Yum Cars from UK?" He mentions OG a lot in videos, but looks like a copycat operation. It's tricky, man. I know he's a big fan of mine. He's sent me emails back and forth over the years, and I don't know what to say. I'm assuming it's not him making another handle, another screen name for YouTube, but it's so tricky because I get that I'm sort of modeling passion and modeling what life could be like, and so then there's a delicate balance when I have shared passions with other people. There's an inclination to say, well, shoot, I want to do something similar. And then you kind of have to do the delicate dance of copying. I think the smell test is generally, I don't know. I don't even know how. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know how to solve it other than what I'm going to do in the future for brands like Yum Cars and others is I'm going to create and manufacture products. So I'm reaching the ceiling of what exists. I'm reaching the ceiling of great products that exist. And then what I've done way too often is I've then shared, when we reach a ceiling, I've shared with the manufacturers what I want as a consumer. And what I want as a consumer is what all of you want as a consumer in general. Not specifically, not exactly, but in general. And so I'm been creating solutions to problems that people didn't know they had. That's been my sort of business model. And there's solutions to problems that are common, but not commonplace. The masses don't have the same problems that you or I have. And then I would share what I needed with all of the manufacturers, and then I would end up just teaching them how to then sell it to everybody else, and I never protected any of it. And so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to either have exclusivity and then wholesale to those who have a shared passion, who want to also chase their passion, but not give up the secret sauce. I taught everybody how to build a custom install pressure washer system, and now it's commonplace. And I should have patented it or protected it, or I guess it's kind of hard to do that when you're using a bunch of other. I guess not. I mean, I probably could have patented the on-wall solution, but then I'd have to protect it and defend it. So instead, I'm going to just try to stay ahead of it, and then provide the since I'll become the first manufacturer, not a retailer, so not like the second middleman on things, then I'll be able to support guys like Yum Cars or other places that want to do it too, and then we can have some synergy there instead of me feeling like I'm copied or them worrying about copying. But that's something I think that is tricky, and then as in the future when I have international locations, so then when I'm teaching everybody about Pressall bottles, I would have had Pressall UK and Pressall EU and Pressall Australia, and had access to all those markets in the detailing niche. So anyway, okay, cool. All right, RBJW, thanks. Yeah, I know it's difficult and it's hard. I mean, I know you guys want to honor the source, but it's a real difficult thing to pay that much money to support, to honor the source. I understand that, and so I don't fault anybody for it. I really, really appreciate those that will say, I'm just gonna, at least a couple of times here and there, I'm gonna just pay the duties and taxes. And then we have a lot of products that only I have, that it's kind of a shame that we're hoarding, that would be great if I distributed it internationally. So yeah, Neil, it's been frustrating. I've matured, as you can see. I've matured a lot in this, and it's difficult to, but it's capitalism. It's part of what happens is that the ideas get borrowed or redone or stolen. That's part of the problem in capitalism. But I'm going to keep chasing. Let's see. What else do we got here? Well, you guys have lots of engagement here today. Let's see. For us with a busy schedule, we talked about 359M wheels. We talked about potential recall. Dustin says, I'm assuming the Sonic power bars are drop shipped. Ordered a couple back in August, but haven't heard anything. Yes, they are, and no, they're not available at the moment. As soon as they are, those I don't know that we would drop ship. I think we generally stock those, yeah, it's not a real common thing that people are buying. So it's probably not on the RYS list. But if you want an update, just shoot Manny an email at support@obsessedgarage.com. He'll dig into it and find out what the heck's going on. For us more budget-conscious people, do you recommend 3/4-inch Schedule 40 PVC for the wall-mounted pressure wash solution? Yeah, I mean, I'd probably do an inch if you could, because I think it looks a little better. 3/4, well, sort of half-inch would work. The gray Schedule 40, I think it looked pretty decent, like what Alex from Viper Chair did. Yeah, I mean, it works. It's probably a more potentially reliable solution than doing the fancy Prevost stuff. So yeah, I mean, that can work and work well if you want to do the valve setup and set up your wall-mounted solution. It'll save you $500 or $600 over the Prevost stuff. Easily $500. Tim from UK, hope you and your family are well. Thank you, sir. Same to you. Matt, have you looked at at pellet grills? Memphis wood grills look pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, the new Timberline XL from Traeger looks super cool, but then as you start to dig into it a little bit more, it's actually probably kind of cheap. So maybe something like Memphis would make more sense. What I need is I would need something that's pretty automatic. That's where the Timberline starts to look like a better option. I decided not to do one to start, and Helen will have the Helen vlogs coming out, and we'll talk more about that. But I think, I think that I don't know that pellet wood fire stuff is in my future, but I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Home of the Obsessed. What are your thoughts on incorporating some? Let's see. Did he ever finish that thought? Nope, I guess he didn't. Finish that thought, Home of the Obsessed. Let's see. Hi, Matt. I purchased the center channel Dynaudio P4 LCR50 you guys had an open box. Do I pair these with P4W65 or P4W80 for the left and right channels? Okay to use with Blue Sound node to power. So you need a power node, but no, because the power node only has 2 channels. You can't do 4 channels, or there's no center channel on that. So you're gonna need a receiver, like an NAD 758. You'd want the W80s if you can swing it. You want the P4W80s. The P4W80s are a much more. It plays lower, has an 8-inch woofer instead of a 6.5. It's always better to have a bigger woofer, and so you would want the W80s if you can swing the size and expense. Either one are timber matched, both the W65s or the W80s. We're talking about, by the way, in-wall speakers, the Dynaudio in-wall P series. He bought the center channel, the LCR50. So that's a center channel. So you could either do 2 more LCR50s if you wanted to, or you could do the W80 or W65. So I would do the W80s is what I would do. Let's see. Kimchi says, Matt, I've been a follower here in Seattle area on your channel since you and Jason Kilmer did the training videos. Learned a lot from you. Thank you, and Kilmer. Yeah, man, thank you. Jason Kilmer's awesome. I'd love to get him out here soon again. What are your thoughts and plan for the new M2? I mentioned this earlier that I would swap the G80 for the M2, keep the M2 up in Helen. I think that's a great. So unfortunately, I'd not get a manual. I'd have to get the CF, and it would be rented out there up in Helen. And for now, I'm going to do rentals through Turo, and then eventually build my own rental company. Matt, do you ever think about getting an E90 to go with your E92? I think about that probably twice a day, so I'll probably end up with one at some point. Let's see. Let's see. Got my Active 2.0 and using it with MTMPF 22.2 foam cannon. Would stepping the orifice down to 1.1 millimeters ensure I get shaving cream? Nope, you're going to blow up the Active if you do that. So do not do the 1.1. You can try it, but you're probably going to blow it up. So I would suggest you not do that. Just got in my giveaway CSL EXO. Nice. About to coat a new car. Am I right that you now use CSL on the side and rear windows, 1 coat or 2 coat any EXO after? Yes, on the side and back window as well as the mirrors. I've been doing CSL EXO, single coat of CSL, only ever single coat of CSL. It won't layer on itself. It'll just reject it. So single coat of CSL, wait 3 to 20 hours as long as you can wait, and then put 2 coats of EXO afterward. Big fan of that combo. Let's see. Improved Garage, $4.99. Thank you, sir. What ratio do you use for 914 as washer fluid? Do you like it better than Vision? Yes. I think I've kind of bagged Vision, and I would do it in 1 to 256. So mix it in the rinseless wash dilution is what I would suggest. Yep. Okay, those were our 2 super chats. I like that. I can just click the thing at the top there. Let's see. Epiphany Detailing we just answered. Chris Gunn, from your Helen research, do you know if there are any dirt bike ATV trails, or is it mainly hiking mountain bikes? I'm pretty sure there's a billion dirt bike trails. That's also on my agenda to go up there and find some ATV trails. I probably wouldn't ride a dirt bike. I don't have a lot of skill, so I would probably ride an ATV. And so I think that I know there's tons up there, but we'll find it at some point. Let's see. Zealous Motorsport Detailing. I wish I had more money to buy your stuff. Well, let's figure out a way to get you a little better job then. Do more detailing, get better customers, charge more. So anyway. Oh, Brad says he opened up RYS on the hose nozzle. Okay, cool. We didn't want to open up Reserve Your Spot on it because we were afraid they weren't coming, but I think that he must have done that because we probably have some good guidance that it's on the way. DeWebra says Larry Cosilla, who's Ammo NYC, said on the Smoking Tire podcast that you should remove bird poop with spit. What do you think about that? He's probably talking about enzymes battling or combating enzymes. He's probably being a bit facetious there, but I'm sure it would work. But you can just remove it with a waterless wash or something. What's your all-time favorite product that OG sells? That's a good question. I think it's probably CSL. That's what immediately came to my mind. G-Technic Crystal Serum Light. I was a later adopter of coatings because of the, I thought they looked weird, like original, like C-Quartz, TiO2. I didn't love the look of them. And then that transition to coatings for me was very important to have slickness. That's one of my most enjoyable parts. CSL's not a great product for areas where you have a lot of horrible weather, unless you're willing to correct it once a year or so. But I think that's what came to mind immediately was CSL. Tyler Bortner says, any particular process you use for polishing a truck roof? Just slop the polish and call it a good method, or is there a more measured process you've found? I'm assuming you're talking about paint correcting when you're talking about polishing, because some people oftentimes will talk about polishing as really waxing. But I'd get a ladder and I would polish it just like the rest of the car, and I want to correct the roof. So I would treat it in sections. If it's a large truck, you'd probably have to do it in like 6 or 8 different, 2 foot by 2 foot sections, and kind of work my way through and correct it out, and then coat it. Are you planning on doing employee car wash and talks? I wasn't planning. I don't have anything on the plans for that. Oops, I skipped over some of these. Did you ever consider the new Civic Type R? No, I think that's a bit beyond that. I'd have a tough time with that. About as far back as I'd be willing to go, I think, would be like a Supra. Let's see. Michael says, Matt, do you think the price of the new BMWs has just gotten ridiculous? The new M2 with the seats is €72 or 72,000 pounds. The previous M2C was around 50. Yeah, I mean, welcome to inflation. I mean, I'd rather them all be less money, but hopefully you can figure out a way to increase your income to keep up. Let's see. Mikey says, I have an 1122 and it's reading 1600 PSI on the gauge with the stock gun and wand. Is that normal, or should I adjust it to 1400 with the 2 screws inside the unloaded valve? It's turned all the way in. Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't read that high, so you should really adjust the unloader so that it reads 1400. Let me think about that. I'm pretty sure when I pull the trigger, it reads 14. Because you might be over amping the machine a little bit if it's reading that high. I forget what the 1122, what the stock gauge. I thought it said 1400. You might want to shoot an email to support on that. See if they can help you. Let's see. Eric and Brad went back and forth, so he got that opened up. Yeah. So Eric, shoot an email to Brad at obsessedgarage.com, and he'll help you out with that. Matt, opinions on EU passing a bill to ban internal combustion engines after 2035. You think they are just gaslighting, or would they be able to make it happen? They're absolutely, positively not going to be able to make that happen. That's 13 years from now. I think it's, unless they build a bunch of nuclear power plants, how the heck are they going to charge all these electric vehicles? So I would suspect the answer to that would be they'll back off on that. But yeah, we'll see. Who knows? I mean, 13 years with the speed, the exponential speed at which technology is ramping up, maybe we'll have hydrogen-powered cars, and we'll see. Matt, do you prefer digital torque wrenches or analog? Definitely analog. I had the Snap-on digitals. I hated them. Their batteries are always dead. I like the click style. Is it possible to visit OGHQ? Absolutely, any day, weekday. I mean, I'm not here on weekends as much as I used to be. I don't know why that is. Probably because I've been working on a lot of home projects and videos there. So, yes, any 8 to 5, any weekday 8 to 4:30. J. Bentley Austin III. Well, that's a fancy name there, buddy. He makes me all the 3 name with a 3rd, 4th, 5th. They always end up buying lots of cool stuff. So, sorry, Jay. Anyway, Matt, I'm looking into buying a DI setup. You gave hints of the OG DI setup that has really gotten my attention. Would you just get the CR or wait? I would wait. Our setup is going to be so much better, and I'm hoping to have it first quarter. Any plans to do black label on the Pressall bottles? Yes, definitely. We'll have several different colors. How are sales numbers going for a dry ice machine? We're doing well. We keep selling out of every shipment that comes in. There's lots of new stuff coming on the dry ice front. If you want to be on the cutting edge of that, if you're interested in that, go to Dryce Nation, DRYCE Nation.com. I would join the Patreon, especially if you're considering doing it for a living. Joined the Patreon for a while. Scott is the oracle of that, and he has built a really good community of other dry ice providers, even as it's like a second gig, a side hustle. Man, Scott can really help you think about a way to make a bunch of money and provide a great service. Malcolm S says, have you ever considered porting 410 gear ratio or gears in your M3? Would make it much quicker on the street. Yeah, it's crossed my mind, but I've never really gone that far on doing stuff like that, modifications like that. So I probably wouldn't. Let's see. Does a solo sprayer work on Pressall bottles? Yes, it does. Looks weird, but yeah, it does. Let's see. Sorry, why did it just jump all the way ahead here? Where was I? All the way up here. Guess you guys got lots of questions today. Everybody copy stuff. Milwaukee is going back to the old design with a half-inch impact. They had numerous complaints. I just think that the half-inch mid-torque does anything I needed to do. Have you had any Christmas tree zebra cakes? Not yet this year, but I've had many in my life. Matt, you should check out Scent Air for using reed diffuse at your properties. I think you might enjoy what they offer. I'll check it out. The Smith and Company is Doug and and Kenna. Sorry, Kenna and Doug are OG followers, so I'm working with them we're going to create something great. Matt, as a dad, are there any books you make your son read? I have an 11-year-old that wants to be an engineer, trying to make a list for Christmas. I'm a probably terrible parent and a terrible reader. My son is very much like me, doesn't like to read. My daughter's very much like Michelle, loves to read. I don't read much. So I'm not doing a very good job of intentional parenting. I'm a terrible job at that. So I'm not a good person to ask. Let's see. Hey, Matt, got my Active 2.0. Nice improvement. Definitely nice bump in GPM. Is there a wall mount solution for it? Not seeing anywhere to mount it down. I think we decided it really doesn't need to be tied down. I've been meaning to ask Tommy if we've tested that out yet. So I'm not sure yet, but I don't think you really need to. It's super light. It would hang from the hoses if it ever fell, but I don't think it would. Hey, Maddie, forgot the name of the site, but what was the name of the guy who put you on to Krenzla? Thought you filmed a couple of videos with them before comparing Rupes against some other brands. Let's see, what's he talking about here? Name of the guy who put you on to Krenzla. No, I don't know what he's comparing to Rupes. Maybe he meant some other brand. I'm not sure. I don't know. No Dogs in Helen. Yeah, No Dogs in Helen. Oh, he meant Ammo Spit. Okay, sorry about that. Oh, shoot. I thought you meant Spit. Ammo Spit is it's just a waterless wash, quick detailer. So, okay. Sorry about that, guys. That's right. I did know that. I've had that product before. I'm an idiot. Okay, so questions are way behind here, the comments. Question, if money was no option, would you make a Toyota Prius OG spec? Asking for a friend. The answer is no. What color M2 will you get? I think I'll get white. White with black wheels. I love that. He was talking about removing the bird feces ASAP. Yeah, I agree with that because you have enzymes that's attacking your clear coat, could etch it and make it, you could even make its way down to the base coat and cause problems. Is there a good high quality Carnauba wax you recommend? Love ceramic coatings, but I've heard waxes are better with water spots. Yeah, I guess they can be better with water spots if they last. I'm a big fan of the combination of Powerlock plus topped with Colonite 845. 2 coats of that. Let's see. Question, why not move away from CR Spotless to a bigger and more efficient, longer-lasting DI tank setup? That's exactly what I'm doing. But the ones that exist are too janky. Spencer says, in a rare chance I win the M2, would you be willing, would you be all for keeping it and having me take the G80 M3? No. Because the G80 has the S58, not the S55. What are your thoughts on Adam's ceramic graphene coating? I think it's far behind the other coatings. The C-Quartz is the C-Quartz and the CarPro and the G-Technic stuff. So Soft 99 and Fuso has some really nice waxes. Yes, they do. Wash Bay at HQ, maybe at LZ Compound 2. I'm not sure what he's talking about there. Matt, how long until you land in the UK? I would love to be there end of next year, but most likely would be early 2024. Did I miss a bunch of questions? I don't think so. Let me see here. Yeah, I've stayed on track here. Let's go. Let's see. For somebody just starting and wanting to get into paint correction, what are the 2 sources for info you would recommend someone to watch and why? Paint correction. Who would I watch if I was trying to figure it out? Let me see. Let's just Google that. Let's YouTube it. I would watch White Details. I just don't know how much Jim gets into the detail of that. Carcraft Auto Detailing would probably be another good one. I think is he in the UK or Australia? Who else would I, if there was videos? Yeah, I think I would do. And then I don't know if Esoteric really gets into paint correction videos on Todd. I'm sure there's some stuff I would look at, anything you could find on Esoteric and Todd's, discussion on paint polishing. That's who I would. And if you could ever get, if you want to learn, you got to go. I would spend the money and go get trained. I think that would be a real value to you. Or get on a plane here and I'll show you how to do it. Get on a plane and in a few hours I could teach you, enough to get you going to then you just practice. Rumor has it Matt sleeps in a bed with the Rag Company towels. That's not true. Have you had to turn anybody down for Helen based on interview? Not yet. Nope. What is your plan on the coffee stuff? Leaving the whatever Lene at Helen. I'm not sure what Lene is. Seems like it would be really complicated for normies. So the regular coffee thingy, the Mocha Master thing, is super simple. You're just getting a better quality product, I guess. But we'll have a whole series where I think most people will be able to figure it out. So we'll have a whole series teaching how to do it. Jorge Corral says max out HSA health savings account. I've never done that. But then again, I'm in good health and I'm afraid of the doctor. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. I think it's a waste. Let's see. Why not answer comments mentioned about your airline drops not having drip legs? What are you talking about? I don't need a drip leg. I've answered comments about it 100 times. I don't have I'm not using the compressor enough to build up a lot of heat in the lines. I've got it in a dehumidified, temperature-controlled area, and I just purge the line, just blow them out, and so I don't have a whole lot of water issues. If I did, then I'd put one in, but I haven't needed one. So you're trying to catch me in something, but I know what a drip line is, and I don't feel the need for one. I've got sophisticated filtration. I've got an air dryer, and very rarely end up at any water coming out of the darn bottom of the darn filters. So I don't even have a tank drain on my tank. So now if I'm building a system that I'm using professionally all day every day, then absolutely. But in a regular garage, I don't think it's necessary. And I don't know. I get like frickin' thousands of comments, so I'm not avoiding the comment. So I don't know what you're getting at there. Like, I've answered hundreds of thousands of comments over the years. I don't answer as many now because I've made a decision to focus more energy on my employees that I now have, and I find the comments not quite as useful as they once were. So I don't answer as many of them as I did. But I still do answer thousands a month. Hundreds. High hundreds, low thousands, where I used to do high thousands. Matt, did you ever get the tune for the M2CS? Yep, I got it. It's the piggyback. Is it something you haven't done that you wish you'd have time to install? I'm going to do it not next week, but the following, so I'll have it done. I just got it. I was waiting on it for months. It finally showed up, the Carbon tune. Matt, would you ever get a late 90s NSX? No. Nope. Yeah, it's too old and stinky for me. I've delivered it in GT3 Touring. Not yet, but I'm waiting. I'm sure I'll get the call here when I'm not ready for it. So it'll be here soon. Miles G says, wanted to take off the front clear bra on my Corvette and get better quality clear bra installed. It's original clear bra from the dealer in 2015. Should I remove it myself or have a shop do it? You're going to have to be really careful. You need a steamer for sure. You're probably going to end up with all kinds of residue left over. So that means you'd have to pay a bunch of money to have it taken off. I mean, I think you could certainly do it yourself if you're slow and methodical. But yeah, Ryan says Junkman tutorials. I never really watched the Junkman, but yeah, I'm sure his tutorials are probably pretty decent. He always catered to the common man, the beginner. So that'd be a good place to watch. Will you get carbon buckets in the M2? Yep, I definitely do that. What are the OG spec Halloween candles? Wrong guy. Grant Hawtrey says, for paint correction, Jason Rose, Kevin Brown, and Mike Phillips. Yeah, those are the guys, but they don't all do a whole lot of videos. But if you could get out to Rupes and have Jason do a Jason Rose training, that would be good. Esoteric would be good. Nate Mercy. All right, I miss your. Maybe that just showed up. 1999. Thank you, sir. Have you tried the dual battery Milwaukee leaf blower yet? No, but it's on my agenda. I have the single battery version and not very happy with it for drying. Yeah, I didn't either. It's just weak. But don't want different battery systems to deal with by adding the Ego. I got to get one to test out. I'll test it out at SEMA. I'm sure it'll be there. So I'm going to check it out and see if it's good. Yeah, Carcraft I thought was in Australia. Let's see. Matthew SC, building a designated wash bay at HQ and one for LZ. They need one. So yeah, I'm not going to do one here at HQ, but I will at the next HQ. And Adam, I think he has that little area. I don't know. Maybe we'll do it at some point. Matt, you ever purchased a sport bike like an R1? Any experience driving them at all? Yes, I've told the story many times. I had a Yamaha YZF R6 with the Yoshimura full titanium header back exhaust, header and exhaust. And I drove it for 900 miles, got it pulled over for doing 87 and a 35, sold it, and will never buy one again. So I'm too much of a sissy for one anyway. I can barely drive a car. Let's see. What kept you motivated, especially during the rough times of first starting OG? I'm not sure, man. I mean, I talked about this a lot in the Inside the Hex video with Pan that we'll have up on the next couple of days. I've had a lot of no's and a lot of what are you doings and a lot of you can't do that's in this process. That's probably partly motivating, and it's that I have a strong desire to prove that I'm right. So me proving I'm right is a strong motivator. Proving it to whom, I'm not sure. Mainly probably myself. I'm trying to prove myself. What's going on here? Somebody's at my door in Helen. Let me look here. Oh. That's my door here in Florida. Oh, that's my irrigation guys. So, yeah, I mean, plus, you're chasing passion. I'm chasing what I love. It doesn't get any better than that. And then, coming up with various epiphanies that, well, maybe other people would want what I can provide. And then, that's what's kept me moving, kept me motivated. And now I'm motivated to make a great organization that can, cultivate talent and to create great products and continue to afford me the ability to do what I love to do. So, anyway. Let's see. OG Spec Audi R8 would be a special series to watch. Potential giveaway. I want to do a NSX. Gen 2 NSX is a giveaway. Are you not using track It'll tell you where the car is and give you dates. Oh, yeah. Oh, the tracking for the Porsche. Yeah, I guess I could ask Tom for the tracking. I don't really have time for that anymore. I used to. But yeah, I haven't gotten tracking, and I just told Tom, well, just tell me when it shows up, kind of thing. So, Carrera White, or White, not Carrera White, versus Gentian Blue on a 718 GT4 if you had to decide again. 100% white. My build is nearly identical to my previous GT4, carbon buckets, yellow PCCB, having a hard time deciding on color. I like white, and the blue was cool, but I would do white. The only reason I did blue was because I had the white RS. Hopefully you're from a driver from Atlanta. Didn't suck too bad. That's Rob. So Rob took me up to Helen. We hung out. So that was cool. Just curious, but does paint correction soften paint or make it more susceptible to scratches? No, it does not. It will swell the paint temporarily, but should not affect the structural integrity of the paint. Youngblood 23RB says, Matt, can you all please make inside the hex sign in a focal point on top of the main OG page? Could be operator on my part, but I find myself having to click and scroll to get signed in. Yeah, the tricky part is that inside the hex is built on an app called whatever it's called, I forget, but it sucks. But there's nothing else like it. Bold is the app. And so there's sort of limitations on what we can do. So someday I'd like to be able to develop our own platform and have our own video servers and stuff like that here on site. So sometimes, hopefully, I can figure that out. Bart R says, do you have any reliability issues with your BMWs? What was the most and least reliable cars of yours? My M3s have been mega reliable, no issues at all, except for when I shipped the darn giveaway E92 away, and then I had to, it needed coils and plugs. But I've had bulletproof BMWs. Now, I'm not driving 100,000 mile BMWs, so the issues I have are pretty rare, and because I've worked my face off, and because it's a write-off, and because I've been somewhat successful most of my adult life, the little bit of repairs that you need to do haven't been a real detriment to me. So I don't find them to be difficult. But I'm also not buying the weird ones too. I'm buying the M cars. I'm buying their best cars. Let's see. Kevin Smith, his follow-up. Most home garage can't afford air dryers and all. Would have helped to explain them how to handle that. Didn't mean to sound rude. Yeah, cool. Yeah, no problem, man. But a lot of people trying to catch me in a not knowing what's going on. But I find that, again, if you did some airlines, you can always just pop the pipe off at the low point and drain it if you wanted to, without having to do a drip line. I went Shark Blue on my GT4. That will be here in January. Can't wait. Let's see. When can we expect to start seeing the red M3 detail with pan being uploaded? I think probably next week. So should be up. We had shot a lot of videos, so the guys are editing crazy. Any last minute tweaks to the M2 exhaust? Surprised Remus couldn't make something happen. Would have been good exposure for them. Yeah, I couldn't get it in time. So I just got the Acura. I did get. It's grown on me. I did get the. I'm going to play with the resonated or non-resonated. I think, but that's about all I can do. Otherwise that's just the way it sounds. There's 5,700 miles on the M2, and let's see. Can we get an OG VW Golf R giveaway one day? Probably not. Obsessed Mobile Detailing. With a recession probably coming very soon, I would argue we're probably already here. Any advice for detailers, specifically mobile detailers, to deal with it during those times, since detailing is a luxury service? I mean, this would be the time to buckle down. So if you're a mobile detailer and you're starting out in life and business, and now is going to be a great time to capture market share, because lots of people will probably hang it up when the going gets tough and the money isn't flowing as much. you'll very likely end up with less, competition, less people doing what you do in your area. So that's going to be a real opportunity. But I would, tighten the belt a little bit personally on how much money you're spending. I would be, rationing my products. I would be, asking my clients asking them how much they value the, high quality products and really selling them on that, making sure that they know why you're charging what you're charging. Know that you're going to lose, a bunch of your lower end customers. They're probably going to, the cost of fuel, the rising cost of things, many of them will very likely lose their jobs. So you need to be prepared. I think the good news with this coming recession is that because of how destitute, I don't know if that's the right word, because of how difficult it has been to hire, because the labor market, with the baby boom generation coming to retirement, and there's many less workers of working age in the U.S. I would guess that unemployment rates probably won't be that difficult or won't be that high, but there will be a difficulty in that wages are not going to grow. Wages will very likely shrink, but prices are going to continue to rise. So that's a big risk in that you have this sort of stagflation in that when wages don't rise but prices rise, you end up with a really difficult economic, environment. And so prices will continue to rise on things because of supply and issues with the supply chain. But hopefully we can have a soft landing on this whole thing, in that because there's, we're near full employment and need more employees, because, Republicans will probably take the House and Senate, and very likely will take, the next presidency. Very likely you won't get the, as many people being incentivized as much to be unemployed. So the unemployment benefits won't be as beneficial. So I think that you could very, very likely, as a detailer, I would be thinking very strategically on survive in advance, and then you're going to be able to hire a bunch of employees, because a lot of your competitors are going to go out of business because they're not going to survive. They're going to go do something else because that, when it go and gets tough, that's the beauty of resetting, via recession, is that you end up sort of culling the herd, or pruning the tree, if you will, and so it gives you an opportunity to capture some market share when other guys quit, and then you can go get their best customers. But be ready to start hiring some people. You can probably, coming out of recession, you can get people at a much more reasonable rate. There'll be many people willing to try something different because maybe they were let go from their jobs. So it just depends on what happens with the labor market. But that would be my advice, if that makes sense. Matt Duffy asks, how's the driving going? I was really hoping to be ready to go to the Performance Delivery Center and then drive the M3, the G80 M3 home. But I made some serious progress, but I still can't drive down a highway with, lights. So I'm not going to be able to do that yet. And I decided I was going to try to push through it and just man up, but I don't want to have a setback. So I've decided to ship the car home. Let's see. Excited to see your thoughts on the Gen 2 NSX. Better watch prices. Feel like they've been heading up. I thought they've been heading down. They will probably head substantially down. Danny Israel, congrats on your continued success. Following your passion. Your team is great. Mike F. is a wealth of knowledge. Thanks, Danny. Appreciate it. Good to hear from you. It's been a while. Forensics detailing channel for learning to polish. Yeah, John is a good dude, and I think that I just don't know who's done a lot of videos on, polishing. I would err on the side of not watching the YouTubers like me and John and Pan. I would err on the side of watching the detailers do the polishing, learning the polishing. Because that's who the YouTubers learn from, is the Jason Roses and the Jason Kilmers and the Andy Wards of the world. That's who we learned from. Todd Cooperrider, Mike Phillips, these are the guys that the YouTubers have learned from. So that's why I'm saying, and I'm pretty sure, what did I say, Carcraft? I think he's a detailer. So I think that, Paul Dalton, these are the OGs of that world. Let's see here. My battery's running low here on my Apple. Let me see if I've got a charging cable in here. Nice. My battery, it's at 34%, but my battery was charged, but I've got the live stream rifling here, and so the thing is, this is the